Let us understand physical world and measurement. Ours is an age of IT, information technology, science and technology, we use the term. The computer, the TVs, the color TVs, the mobiles, the audio systems, the video systems, remote sensing satellites, travel by air, travel by ship, travel by superfast trains, health, nutrition, and so on and so forth. All are nothing but gifts of science to the mankind. In fact, the human endeavor for quest, that is for knowledge, yielded in all these things. So there is not even a single field of human activity which has not been influenced by science. Now, what is basically science mean? Now, the word science comes from a Latin verb, scientia, which means to know. Human being has always been very curious to know more and more about things which surround him and affect him. Now, keen observations and experiments have provided human being with a lot of information. So this knowledge which human being has gained through observation and experiments, when organized systematically, is called science. The knowledge acquired or obtained is or so collected has become so vast that they have been divided into many branches. The sciences which deal with non-living things, they are called physical sciences. The sciences which deal with living things, they are called biological sciences. For example, when you talk about physical sciences, all these branches of science will come into physical sciences like physics, chemistry, geology, geography, astronomy, astrology, oceanology, all these things come under the category called physical sciences. Whereas in biological sciences, you come across botany, zoology, ornithology, anthropology, entomology, forensic science. They come under the category called biological sciences. One of the greatest scientists of all time, Albert Einstein, once said, and I quote, "Science is not just a collection of laws, a catalog of unrelated facts. It is a creation of human mind with its freely invented ideas and concepts." Unquote. Einstein also once remarked that the most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is comprehensible. The basis for the statement of the great man is depending on the fact that the behavior of everything in this vast universe is governed by some well defined laws. According to Bruce Lindsay, science is a method for describing, creating, and understanding human experience. In the words of famous scientist Niels Bohr, the task of science is both to extend the range of our experience and reduce it to the order. According to Gerald Holton, science is ever unfinished quest to discover all facts and relationships between things and the laws by which the world runs. In the words of Philip Feynman, I would not I would like not to underestimate the value of the worldview, which is the result of scientific effort. And according to Heisenberg, the two processes, that of science and that of art, are not very different. Both science and art form in the course of centuries a human language by which we can speak about the more real part of reality. Apart from this, a famous philosopher, Bertrand Russell, commented on science, and I quote, "We know very little, and it is yet astonishing that we know so much, and still more astonishing that so little knowledge of science can give us so much power." Unquote. These are all various statements or remarks made by various great personalities over a period of time. So, from science, let us understand what is basically physics is all about. The word physics comes from the Greek word physis, meaning nature. This word was introduced by the ancient scientist Aristotle in the year 350 BC. The branch of science which is devoted to the study of nature and natural phenomena is called physics. The nature around us is colorful and diverse. It consists of so many phenomena of large varieties: formation of day and night, seasons of the year, the winds, the sands, the waters, the planets, the rainbow, energy coming from the sun, energy from nuclei, and so on and so forth. The list is endless. So it is expected that all the events in nature take place according to some basic laws. So the subject of physics reveals these basic laws from day to day observations. So therefore, physics is the most basic of all the sciences. So at the class 11 standard level, let us assume that the knowledge of physics which accumulated until the year about say 1900 is called classical physics. Right now take it like that. And the more knowledge beyond 1900 century is what is known as modern physics. Though it's not the actual distinction, but still for understanding sake, let us say, okay, take like that. Now the classical physics is understood in terms of some theories like mechanics, thermodynamics, and electromagnetism. Modern physics is understood in the terms of relativity and quantum mechanics. Let me brief about these things. Now, classical physics can be understood in terms of these three theories. Mechanics that deals with the theory of motion of material objects at low speeds. Whereas thermodynamics, this deals with heat, temperature, and behavior of a system of very large number of particles, maybe atoms and molecules. Electromagnetism, this deals with the study of electricity, magnetism, and electromagnetic radiation. When it comes to modern physics, it can be viewed from two different theories. One is relative theory. Relativity deals with the motion of particles moving with the speeds of the order of velocity of light. In fact, it is a theory of invariance in nature. And of course, quantum mechanics. This deals with the mechanical behavior of submicroscopic particles. Now, with this background, let us understand what is meant by scientific method and the scientific theory. The knowledge of science is acquired by following a rigorous procedure that consists of some steps like taking a large number of systematic observations, studying these observations and looking for their logical behavior, suggesting some model to account for the behavior observed, theoretical prediction of what is not actually observed on the basis of suggested model. So all these steps taken together form the scientific method. It is extremely effective in gaining, organizing, and applying new knowledge. The set of laws so developed which account for the behavior of physical systems constitute the scientific theory. A theory must stand the test of time and should be able to explain what may be observed from time to time. When any new observation or measurement shows some discrepancy or deviation from the existing theory, then the theory has to be duly modified. When even the modification of theory fails to account for the new observations, then the old theory has to be replaced by the new theory. The new observations leading to the new theory have, of course, to be checked and rechecked for their own accuracy. Sometimes, new experiments may have to be planned and executed to verify the predictions of a theory. So, therefore, formulation of theories on the basis of experimental results and experimental verifications of theoretical predictions go hand in hand to further extend our knowledge of any science. For example, if you want to see certain striking examples where small discrepancies have led to new theories in physics, include some interesting things. For example, the concept of flat earth was replaced by the concept of spherical earth from the observations of distant ships in sea. Similarly, geocentric theory, imagining earth to be at the center of the universe, was replaced by heliocentric theory, imagining sun to be the stationary and all planets revolving around it. Similarly, the corpuscular theory of light given by the great man Newton, it was replaced by Heisenberg's wave theory of light, which was replaced later by Planck's quantum theory of light. Finally, dual theory of light was given by de Broglie to account for all the phenomena observed in the case of light. So therefore, in science, the approach is always open-minded, in which no points of view are overlooked without logical reasons. In fact, all theories of science have to be updated whenever required so that they are consistent with all the known experimental data. Let us understand scope and excitement of physics. The scope of physics is very wide. That is, the domain of physics covers almost a very wide variety of natural phenomena. For example, the range of distance we study in physics vary from size of a nucleus to size of universe. For example, that is up to 10 power minus 14 meters to 10 power 25 meters. 10 power minus 14 meters is approximately the size of the nucleus. 10 power 25 meters is the size of the universe. Similarly, the range of masses, if you include in the study of physics, varies from 10 power minus 30 kg, that is the mass of an electron, to 10 power 55 kg, that is the mass of the universe. Even the time intervals of event, for example, we come across in the study of physics, they vary from 10 power minus 22 seconds, that is time taken by the light to cross the nuclear distance, and up to 10 power 18 seconds, that is lifetime of the sun. So therefore, it is a wide variety of natural phenomena. So the scope of physics is really wide. It includes the study of mechanics, heat and thermodynamics, waves and oscillations, optics, electricity, magnetism, atomic and nuclear physics, electronics, and even computers. So the study of physics is very exciting in many ways. For example, let us see certain examples. For example, nowadays, you have a live transmission of events thousands and thousands of kilometers away from the television. Similarly, subscriber trunk dialing, international subscriber trunk dialing, fax, pagers, mobile phones, speed and memory of the latest generations of computers, use of robots, journey to the moon, Mars, and other planets, technological advancements in health and sciences, leisures, exploring new sources of energy, alternative sources of energy. These are all various ways of understanding science. So the scope is wide open. Now, here, physicists or scientists in general and physicists in particular have found that physics is an exact science and it is studied in terms of precisely measurable quantities. Only few laws govern a wide variety of natural phenomena. And there is an essential simplicity and symmetry behind even the most complex natural phenomena. The natural phenomena from atomic to astronomical ranges can be explained in terms of a few basic concepts. So these are the three important facts that make the study of physics more exciting. Now let us understand physics in relation to other branches of sciences. Because physics involves a basic study of various natural phenomena, it can rightly be regarded as the most fundamental of all sciences. Physics plays a key role in the development of many other branches of sciences. For example, if you take physics in relation to chemistry, the study of structure of atoms, radioactivity, X-ray diffraction, etc. In physics, they have enabled chemists to rearrange elements in a periodic table on the basis of atomic number. It gives a better understanding of chemical bonding and complex chemical structures. So when you look at physics in relation to biological sciences, the optical microscope developed in physics are extensively used in the study of biological samples. Using an electron microscope, structure of biological cell is studied. X-rays are discovered in physics have a wide variety of applications in biological sciences. The radioisotopes are used in the treatment of cancer and so on. So if you look at physics in relation to astronomy, the giant astronomical telescopes developed, they are used for observing planets and other heavenly bodies in the sky. Radio telescopes have enabled the astronomers to observe the distant limits of the universe. Now let us see physics in relation to mathematics. Theories in physics often make use of mathematical concepts. Mathematics has in fact served as power of and a tool in the development of modern theoretical physics. Now when you look at the relation of physics to other sciences, the other sciences like biophysics, geology, meteorology, oceanography, seismology, they also use some of the laws of physics. Now let us see the physics relation to society. Most of the development in physics have direct impact on the society. For example, development of a telephone, mobile phone, telegraph, telex, they all enable us to transmit messages instantly. Now you have SMS. So development right from radio, television, mobiles up to satellites, it has revolutionized the means of communication. So advances in electronics, computers, lasers, IT, they have greatly enriched the society. Rapid means of transport. Now we are talking about superfast trains. So rapid means of transport they are no less important for the society. Exploration of new source of energy, it's of great significance to society. The list ends nowhere. It goes on. Now, when you talk about physics in relation to technology, technology is nothing but the application of principles of physics for practical purposes. Generation of electricity, for example, it is based on the principle of electromagnetic induction. Transport, means of transport using steam engine, petrol engine, diesel engine, they're all based on the laws of thermodynamics. Means of communication, let us say radio, television, STD, ISD, mobile, fax, pager, they're all based on the propagation of electromagnetic wave theory. For example, generation of power from nuclear reactor. It is based on the phenomenon of controlled nuclear chain reaction. Similarly, if you take the propulsion of rockets is based on Newton's second and third laws of motion. Aeroplanes flying, it is on the basis of Bernoulli's theorem. Lasers are based on the phenomenon of population inversion. Medical sciences uses X-rays for diagnostic purposes. Computers, mobiles, calculators, they are using the principle of superconductivity and digital electronics and so on. If all of us are living in a very advanced society, we should thank the contribution made by great and brilliant scientists of past and present. The greatest scientist who expected to be ever lived on the earth was Sir Isaac Newton between the years 1642 and 1727. Was born in England, so much contribution there. Newton's three laws of motion, universal law of gravitation, reflecting telescope and so on. Newton's work on calculus and differential and integration lead to the development of new languages of physics. That's why the famous poet Alexander Pope once said, nature and nature's they lay hide in night. God said, let Newton be there and all was right. In spite of his greatness, Newton remained a simple man. Shortly before his death, Newton once remarked, I quote, I do not know what I may appear to the world, but to myself I seem to have been only like a boy playing on the seashore and diverting myself ever now and then, finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than ordinary, while the great ocean of truth lay undiscovered before me. Unquote. So we need to have a brief understanding of various phenomena, identify various great personalities. For example, if you consider Sir Isaac Newton, popularly known for his law of gravitation. Similarly, Robert Boyle for Boyle's law. Robert Hooke for law of elasticity. Daniel Bernoulli for his Bernoulli's theorem. Cavendish for the determination of universal constant capital G. Millikan is remembered for atomicity of charge. Thomson is remembered for electron. Has is for cosmic rays. Lorentz is for cyclotron. Maxwell is for electromagnetic theory. Albert Einstein for law of photoelectricity, theory of relativity. Michael Faraday for laws of electromagnetic induction. James Chadwick for neutron. Henry Becquerel for natural radioactivity. Galileo for principle of inertia. Pauly for quantum expulsion principle. Raman for scattering of light. Yukawa for theory of nuclear forces. Marconi for wireless communication. Bardeen for transistors. Roentgen for X-rays. Niels Bohr for theory of hydrogen atom. De Broglie for dual theory of matter. Abdus Salam for unification of weak and electromagnetic interactions. Hubble for expansion of universe. Eisen for wave theory of light. Edison for electric bulb. Graham Bell for telephone. And the list goes on. So we just need to have a basic idea of various greatest scientists and their inventions and their impact on our society. So if you summarize, in this session we tried to understand right from the introduction for the physical world, about understanding what is science and what are various branches, what are the various statements given by various personalities, and in that what is physics, what are its branches, what is meant by scientific method and scientific theory, what is the scope and excitement of physics, and how physics is related to other branches of science. Also, the relation to society and technology, and the contributions made by some great physicists. This is what we have seen. So, in this session, we shall look at the forces in nature.